Good afternoon. Welcome. Thanks for watching WordQ for supporting written output. Today we're going to talk about what WordQ is and one of the basic functions that it does to help students to read and write. If you're looking on your desk, a WordQ icon looks something like so. You can find that in your programs, and it's available in all school computers. When you turn on WordQ, a bar like this will turn up, and it will prompt you for a new user with a screen like so. You will just follow the instructions by clicking Next. In here, you can select the different languages. So in here, you can select for English. Under English, there's different options. So in order for you to select the appropriate option, you can actually click on one of the option once, and there you see a description of what the vocabulary level would be. For those who need it for French, it's also available in French. So in here, under here for French Canadian, you would search for Canadian French General, and that would also create the vocabulary for French. So today we're going to make a profile. And we will call it just intermediate. Okay, and hit next. It's going to ask to save the vocabulary. You're going to hit next. Then you're going to have the students or yourself to type a name. And right now, because I have different profiles with different vocabulary, I'm going to write this as Poon Intermediate. You're going to hit save. Once you've done that, on the top of your bar, you will see that there's the name of which the file I have saved. This is actually very important for those who have more than one profile. For instance, if you're doing French immersions or other classes that requires French, then the students or yourself will be able to identify which profile you're using, whether you're using English or in French. So in WordQ, you would have 4 buttons. Right now, you notice that I have a 5th button. This is actually for speak queue. So those who have assistive technology would have speak queues, and that would include the mic. But for today, we're just going to cover the 4 different buttons there. So in here, we have a word button. A word button is what we call a word prediction. Okay, so you probably noticed that on my Word document, I have a box that popped up. So when I'm typing, you also notice that there's a list of words that comes out as I type. So it actually only requires you to use your listening for those who are having difficulty with spelling. If you take your cursor and hover over each of the word, like so.
When he, when I, when they.
It would actually read out the words for you.
When.
Over here, if I was having trouble with the word typing, I tried a couple of letters, and then I can use my cursor and to go over each of the words, and by listening, I'm able to select the words that I want.
Typed, type, types, typing, typhoid.
Okay. You can either by clicking on the words,
typing,
or you can actually
typhoid.
Type in one of the numbers along the side. To
typhoid.
Get the words that you want.
Typhoid, typing. There are words that pops up. WordQ for supporting written output. When I'm typing, there are words that pops up.
So you probably noticed that when I hit end, when I hit period, it reads this whole sentence. So that actually helps the students, and even myself, to edit because I was missing the word am, and when I'm listening to it, I can actually hear what I have typed. So over here, what we call word prediction box. The word prediction box, we can do a few customizations. So when I'm typing, you probably notice there are 5 words. If I go to under option, prediction. Over here we have number of words. I can actually increase the number of words up to 9. The least amount of words I can choose is 1. So if you have students who get distracted very easily or they're a bit younger, you might want them to have fewer word choices. However, if your students who are older, you can go up to 9 word choices. So if I select that, now I have 9 different options. You probably noticed that when I was typing, the box is following me.
When I type, the box is following me. When I type, the box is following me.
Some students would prefer to have the box following them, but some of them would not. So there's also an option for you to customize that. So back to Option, Prediction, and at the bottom it says Position of the list. You can actually leave it in place. So if I do so, you will see I can now move the box to a corner of my screen, and I can continue typing.
I can continue to type.
And now the box does not follow the cursor. It really depends on the needs of your students. Some students would prefer one over the other. By doing so, they can actually customize it the way that they need. Another options that you can do is back to Options, Prediction, is the layout. You probably noticed that the box of words are actually listed in a vertical list. You can also have it horizontally, depending on what you're trying to use.
Type.
Now this list goes horizontally. I personally like having the list horizontally.
I can continue to type.
I like having the list horizontally under word processing because this way it doesn't block the rest of my screen and I can still have the list right underneath it, and also allow the students to really look directly underneath what they're writing instead of to the corner, because some students tend to not look for the words that they need. Okay. So everything that we talked about is under the Word button. If I unclick it, the box will disappear. Another button I want to talk to you about is speech. Speech, well, you probably noticed that when I was typing, it was reading word by word as well. So when I was typing the previous sentence, it was no longer speaking. When I hit the button Speech,
box is the more box. Now it will read each word as I type. Now it will read each word as I type.
When you hit the speech button, it would read each word as I type. When you hit the period, it would read the whole sentence regardless. Another function I would like to show you is the read button. The read button is actually quite important because it allows the students to read other materials aside from what they're writing. For instance, I can actually go online and find an article online. This particular one is from Happy News. So a lot of teachers would like to use Happy News to teach the class, and a lot of students who actually might not be able to read what it says. So here I just found a particular article that might be interest to you to read. So all I have to do is highlight using my cursor the text, and I can hit the read button.
Miluchi, she's a compact, waterproof, very cool looking solar powered lantern on a big mission to
and it reads what I have highlighted. So you probably noticed that that could be a little slow or a little fast depending on what your needs are. So you can go to the option and you can go to speech feedback, and under speech feedback there is a reading speed. So over here I can increase the speed.
I'm very pleased to talk with you.
And you notice that it's speaking a lot faster, or I can slow it down.
I am very pleased to talk with you.
So depending on the needs of your students, you can adjust the speed of the reading feedback. The voice, there's not too many voices to choose from. If you actually click on the voice, VW, Julie, or Paul, it relatively is a voice that you might want to use.
I am very pleased to talk with you.
It's actually closer to a human voice compared to some of the other voices that you can find in the options there. So Paul sounds like this.
I am very pleased to talk with you.
So like I said, depending on what your students' preferences are, you can choose a different type of voice as you read. So there's the very basic functions of word prediction, where you see the prediction box for the words to help students with spelling. The speech, when it actually reads every single word as you type, and the basic read functions by highlighting. And you can also do that in your Word document as well. So with the reading button functions, it would allow you to read anything as long as you can highlight it. If you can highlight it, you're able to use the read function. Another thing that I would like to talk to you about is a word list. Especially intermediate or even in junior levels, especially in high school as well, there are a lot of vocabulary that are particularly prone to each subject, such as science. So in science, there are vocabulary that you use quite often for that particular subject only, and those are the harder vocabulary, or in social studies as well. So what you can do is that you can select certain vocabulary. For example, I can have sample baseball, and as I type, I have the word diamonds that would come up. So in order to do so, you go to option, you go to my words, and you have topic. So you have topic list. Over here, we can create a new topic. So in order to do so, you can go to new, and you can create topic lists such as computers. And you can either add in a computer word one by one, for example, keyboard, and you can add. And these are the group of words that would come up first in the text box as the students or yourself were typing. You can also import the list from another file. You can also find some of the list available on BWW. So if you go to BWW and you search SIA, and we have, if you scroll down, there's TRT resources. And on the right-hand side, you'll see that there's lists of different words that are actually done for you. This may or may not be the words that you need, but it's actually a good start. So you notice that when I click on it, it's just a list of text file of all the words in grade 4 about science. I can take that, I can save the list. So I'm going to put it on my desktop for the time being. I'm going to call this grade 4 science. Make a note about it being a text document. In order for you to import it into WordQ, it needs to be a plain text document. So I'll save that. So now back to where I am typing. So I'm going to go to Option. I'm going to go to My Words. We're going to go to Topics, and we're going to create a new topic. We're going to call it a grade 4 science. We're going to hit OK. You notice that there's no words being there. You can go to Import, and I can import it from my desktop. I'm going to find grade 4 science, just a plain text file. I'm going to click that and hit Open. And now all the words that was on the list previously are now in here. There's a total of 118 words. You can always add or delete words if there are certain words that you need or don't need. If I didn't need effort, or I can actually delete, hit delete, and the word is gone. The delete here is actually to delete the whole list. So just be very careful when you're deleting. You don't use the one on the top, but the one on the bottom. So I'm going to add the word effort back. I type the word effort. I'm going to hit add. The benefits of importing this way is that if you needed to put it into multiple students' computer, you don't have to go on each student's computer one by one to type in all the words. You can actually just import it per students instead of typing each one. Another benefit is that when we are trying to get the words out, or the students, especially in high school, trying to put all the words from the textbook in there, because they're having difficulty spelling, they needed WordQ to help them to spell. It's very hard for them to use the list as we speak right now, as we see right now, to type in the words to make sure that it's actually spelled correctly, and then to put it into spelling lists. So another way you can do it, if you're to create your own list, you can open up Notepad. Notepad ensures that everything that you save is under a plain text file, unlike Microsoft Word. So here I can start another list. I can say I can type ecosystem in here. But I wanted to use this because I wanted to use the words to help me. So I can type effort, load. This way, we know that we're spelling the word correctly before we're putting in there, especially for those students who are able to do it themselves but not sure if they're typing correctly. So WordQ can do a lot of things for students. It can help students who are younger, who are not only having difficulties with spelling, but for those who doesn't know how to type. For instance, because we're able to just type a couple of letters, I just type BE, I'm able to spell the word because by just three clicks of the key. This way it would actually really help students to produce what they're trying to write without trying to figure out all the letters on the keypad, and they're able to write a lot more for you. Another thing I wanted to mention is this. You probably noticed that when I type, there are a diamond underneath each of the words.
Then I will eat, and then I will go to school. Then you've got more than me.
So
Then
the triangle is actually tells you the usage of the words. This is quite helpful for those students who have difficulties differentiating the homophones. This way they can actually see what they want to, what they need.
there. We are getting there by car. We are getting there by car.
So they know that, oh, that's how I want to use it.
There. Happy.
Another option that you have, you see a little diamond under happy. That actually gives you the synonym for the words.
Glad, felicitous.
So this would also help students with the writing by allowing them to use different words or prompt them to use different words and not constantly using the same words over and over again as they type.
Happens.
You can also turn those off if you go to Option, Prediction. You notice there under here you have Display Synonyms. That's the diamond. And Display the usage of words, and that's the triangle arrow. So if you think that your students find that distracting, you can turn those off. And now when I type happy,
Happy.
oh, hold on. Go. Let's try again.
Happy.
You don't have that diamond anymore. And just the plain words.
Puppy.
Okay, so far we talked about the word prediction and how it helps students with their spelling, as well as written output, so they increase the written output by limiting the number of keystroke. We also talk about giving your speech direct feedback as you type, and also a read function, and it allows you to read different texts, not just the one that you have typed, but also the ones that you find online or from different programs that they're currently using as they're reading. We also talk about using the different topic lists. So by doing so, we can actually retrieve the topic list. So as the students type,
Happy.
those words would actually come up more. You'll notice that the more you use WordQ, the words that you use more often will be the one that's actually coming up more frequently. This is actually quite beneficial for students as well, because those are the vocabulary that they commonly use, and those are the ones that they need help with spelling. Then they would actually have those words coming up as they type, and it's going to really help them with their processing speed as well. So today, that's all the basics that we're going to cover about WordQ. So we have word prediction, speech output, the reading, as well as topic lists. Thank you.